Hey guys, so I just got home from ADHD class. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On my way home, I cashed in more cans. They have a maximum of, what is it, $14.40 a day. At 10 cents a whack, it adds up pretty quick. So, what I'm doing for now is I'm just putting all of my cans money in here. This is all the money that I've collected. Minus coins and minus that $6 that I used to pay back my pet fund from my rainy day fund. So, I think I'm going to keep a running tally. I need to start a card for that because I've only turned in 3 times, and now is the time to start a card before I forget everything. Also, my brain is not working super awesome. I've got a lot of like concepts in my head that are really cool, but I can't come up with like the words for what I'm thinking. We covered something today in class about routines and change, and how ADD people like hate our routines. We absolutely detest being held to a tight little schedule routine. At the same time, change is going on all the time with us. Like, everything is always changing because it's kind of like a commitment issue for a lot of ADHD people. I remember as a kid, I was that kid that my goal was to use a pencil until it was a nub, to use a pen until it was empty, to use a chapstick until it was done, to use a deodorant until it was done. Like, my goal was to finish things. Use things up without losing them or moving on to the next thing. And it's really kind of interesting working at a school with a lot of kids who weren't, like, their parents have enough money to be able to buy new pens and pencils. And so it's really just kind of interesting to me to see that difference between how I operated compared to how it appears all of these kids operate. But anyway, so I've got the note card. We'll fill this out. So then there were some other things we talked about in class. But anyway, I was talking to a guy that I've hung out with in the past. By hanging out, we've never really dated. We've just hung out. I'm sure there's mostly adults in my group that can kind of understand what I mean. And this weekend, I don't know, I think I might have accidentally gotten into a relationship with him. I don't know. I'm so terrible with relationships because, like, the ADD side of me, like, not that I have a commitment issue, but, like, I can barely remember my own life, and my own life directly affects me. But to remember somebody else's life, and, like, so I'm bad in relationships. Not that I'm a commitment phobe or anything like that. I'm bad in relationships that, like, my memory is awful, and my filter is awful, and, you know, like the brain to mouth thing, and yeah, sometimes I do want to go and try new things and go on adventures, like travel the world and things, and, like, I feel that sometimes being in a relationship would keep me from doing that. Not the relationship itself, but because in the history of me, I have dated guys who were not pro Morgan being an independent human. So, and I don't know how this guy is. I don't know. We're gonna hang out this weekend, and I'll fight my non-confrontational urges and actually confront this situation, not from a fighting standpoint, but from a clarifying and figuring out what it means and what is anticipated. Anyway, relationships, they're hard. For me, at least. And so, as I really need to do some cleaning of my apartment before I start having people coming over. So that's another thing in ADHD class that we talked about, is we talked about projects, creating projects, not coming up with projects, but creating an action plan for a project. So you come up with your project. What is your main goal? My main goal, to get my apartment clean by Saturday. And then off of that, there's what are the steps that you need to do. Snooze. What are the steps you need to do? I was like, well, I have to clean my bedroom, and I have to clean my kitchen, and I have to clean my dining living room area. So I split those into 3 different days. So starting tomorrow I will clean my bedroom before I go to work. I have written out like a morning routine of sorts for myself. I just have to fill in the actual absolute times to be awake, the actual absolute times to do the next step. So my morning routine is going to be wake up at the same time every day, with the exception of Tuesdays when I have to wake up at like 6:45. And there is zero way I am going to be coming home at midnight every night and waking up at 6:45 every day. That's impossible. That's only for Tuesdays. But all the rest of the time. And I kind of wrote out a routine for Tuesdays so that I can have a better time of those crazy early mornings, because this morning I left my bag full of my notebooks for class in my apartment and left without them. So that was kind of naked feeling. But anyway, so that is my goal for this week, is to clean my apartment, bedroom and bathroom one day. Dining and living room is another day. Cleaning my kitchen is a third day. And then on the last day, it will be finish the little bits and give it a mop. And then I should be good. And that won't be at a maintenance level. That'll be at a crisis cleaning. Because it's kind of at chaos. Can't have anyone over syndrome. Chaos. CHAOS. Can't have anyone over. AOS. Anyway, that's a Fly Lady term, in case you're curious. Chaos. Can't have anyone over syndrome. It's when your house is thrashed, or at least to a point where it doesn't feel good having company. Anyway, my alarm is going off that it is time to head down to town to go to work. Okay, so I'll let you guys know. I guess tomorrow when I get up, I will talk about my morning routine, anticipated, and I think this week I will kind of hone it in a bit, figure out what's really going on and whatnot, and then I will, yeah, I'll just work on morning routines and also getting my apartment cleaned this week. That'll be the main things. And what else? It's gotta be something else. Yeah. So anyway, I did talk to one gal, one of the two, about the budgeting stuff, and she had mentioned that her husband is the type that if there's money in the account, it will get spent without regard to what it is sitting there for. So he doesn't do it in a malicious way. He does it in like a doesn't stop to think sort of way. So that's kind of interesting. So I'll talk to her more about that. And there's something else about that too. Yeah, I'm trying to rein in Christmas. They're like the family that buys, everybody in the family gets a present. I was like, well, why don't you just buy stuff for the family units that are in your family? Yeah. Alright, running out of memory. Bye, guys!